From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to your statewide edition of Montana This Morning on this Friday, October 4th. I'm Augusta McDonnell here with Ed McIntosh. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for filling in today. Your pink looks great.
Thank you very much. We kind of got the gray and the pink working here.
Yeah, we do. We didn't even have to call each other.
See how it works out? Simpatico.
Simpatico, exactly.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look. I want to start with a live shot starting over towards Missoula, where it's very chilly this morning, sitting at 32 degrees. The winds are calm, but that's going to change as we start getting later on into the day. Statewide temperatures as chilly as 26 for you up in Kalispell, 28 in Butte, but the warmer readings across eastern Montana this morning, 30s and 40s there. But check out the map as we get later on into the day. Those gold shaded areas, that all means high winds and then elevated fire risk in the pink shaded areas. Pretty much anywhere we're going to see strong gusty winds somewhere between this afternoon through tomorrow afternoon. And along with the warm temperatures, the low humidity, will be very fire weather aware. So I'll have more on that coming up.
Okay, we're keeping an eye on all of that. Thanks so much, Ed. And our top story this morning is from the Flathead. Both Glacier High School and Flathead High School in Kalispell started charter schools this year, and they're wrapping up the first month of school with these new programs. MTN's Kiana Wilson has more.
When you think about a traditional high school experience, students take, in our case, up to 7 classes. They take it every day. They take them for 50 minutes. We know that there's opportunities out there for students that look a little bit different. That allowed for flexibility for students to be able to meet their needs, their interests, educationally.
Both Glacier High School and Flathead High School have started charter schools this year. While the models look different at each school, it has been an adjustment for teachers and students alike.
I realized that this program was new, and I realized that the work-based learning thing was new, and I said it's a really great opportunity to try it because it just seemed like it gave so many opportunities that I wouldn't normally be able to get in a regular school setting. And then my expectations were blown all the way out of the park.
Both Rising Wolf Charter and Pace Academy allow for flexibility for students and teachers, but it has also been a big adjustment for the schools with different scheduling and teaching models.
So that's been a change, but honestly super enjoyable, and just a shout out to the kids and the staff members that I work with have just all been awesome, and it's just made it really seamless and fun and enjoyable.
There's still a lot of learning to be done by administrators and staff on how these programs will need to change in the future, as they are only a month into these programs. But both programs are being well received by both staff and students.
Success is more than just a grade in this program. It is about, they are taking ownership of their learning, they're working independently, they're learning the skills that they need to manage their time effectively, they're working outside of the classroom. So success for me in this program is not just about a grade, but all the stuff that goes with it. And it is a beautiful thing to see the kids own their learning and what they want to do.
For more on Rising Wolf Charter and Pace Academy, you can visit our website. In Kalispell, Kiana Wilson, MTN News.
Kiana, thanks so much. In the Bitterroot National Forest, a fight is brewing over key grizzly bear habitat. MTN's Caroline Weiss has more on a potential lawsuit between conservation groups and the Forest Service.
Roads really impact grizzly bears. It's kind of the primary factor in determining whether an area is suitable for grizzly bear habitat or not.
Mid-September, Bozeman-based law firm Earth Justice filed notice of their intent to sue the U.S. Forest Service over changes to road planning in the Bitterroot National Forest. The notice claims a forest plan amendment approved last year violates the Endangered Species Act, putting grizzlies and bull trout at risk. The notice, filed on behalf of conservation groups, says the amendment will lead to increased road building and usage in the forest, impinging on habitat and disrupting species.
Grizzly bears learn to avoid roads. They can pass that avoidance behavior down generations, and area that should be important grizzly bear habitat becomes unsuitable because of the presence of roads. And then on the flip side, you have some bears, it's more rare, but it happens, that become habituated to roads. And that's because maybe they find food along the road or something else. And that's an even more dangerous situation for the bear, because then they're more likely to come into contact with humans, which often means that the grizzly bears end up being killed.
While Mike Bader, an independent natural resources consultant and former Yellowstone National Park ranger, is not involved in the potential lawsuit, he understands why people are concerned. Because the Bitterroot National Forest, like the Lolo National Forest, lies in between major bear recovery areas, Bader says it's extremely important for grizzly population health. Roads can compromise this.
It creates access for poachers, and then it just generally shrinks the habitat into smaller and smaller pockets, and those pockets end up being too small, and the bears have to go outside those pockets, and when they do, that really increases their risk of encountering a human or getting into garbage or something like that that creates a conflict that will result in the bear's death.
In addition to impacting individual bears, Bader says the bigger issue is on a population level. If bears cannot move between these pockets of habitat, it has genetic consequences.
Currently, all the populations in the Northern Rockies are isolated, and none of them are big enough to be viable for the long term. And the Bitterroot ecosystem has a huge amount of suitable habitat for grizzly bears, and so getting a population established there would greatly increase the chances of grizzlies surviving in the entire Northern Rockies.
While the Forest Service tells MTN News they do not comment on pending litigation, they outline their plans to mitigate some of the problems that roads can cause for species when they approved the amendment last September. For grizzlies, this means providing what they call secure habitat, or roadless areas. The conservation groups fear that this will lead to a patchwork of disconnected habitat.
The problem is that the Forest Service measured secure habitat for grizzly bears in tiny 1-acre slivers of land. So basically, you multiply my backyard by 4 and you have secure grizzly bear habitat. And it's not how grizzly bear biology works.
Allowing bears to pass between secure habitat is key to ensuring populations can survive events like wildfire and drought.
The whole connectivity thing, that's the whole ball game right there for grizzly bears.
In addition to impacting grizzlies, the notice claims the amendment will harm bull trout. Sediment from roads can enter streams, clogging trout gills and the stream itself, leading to shallower, warmer water. If the Forest Service does not change their plans by mid-November, Earth Justice plans to move forward with the lawsuit. In the Bitterroot National Forest, Caroline Weiss, MTN News.